What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back again because I just keep coming back, guys. I'm gonna just keep coming back, so get used to it. But I want to talk about something today, which I'm sure many of you already know and have thought about, but positions do not matter in the NBA anymore, and it is awesome. It is so awesome to see that you can have a 6'2" guard that plays more like a power forward now. And you can have a 7'2" center that plays like a shooting guard. Like, there's so much variation in the league now that it feels like the NBA at times is just like a big game of 2K. And I love it. You know, it's really just something else. And let's talk about a few examples. Obviously, right, like the big ones that come to my mind currently are Nikola Jokic, who just clearly has no position. He can act like a center, he can act like a point guard, he could be a shooting guard, right? He's like still like top 10 in 3-point percentage. He's top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists this season. Just absolutely insane. He's doing all of this as well without being like nearly, I would say, like a top 50% athlete in the NBA, which is incredible, just incredible. So that's a big one that I think about. Then we have like Josh Hart of the New York Knicks, who is nearly averaging 10 rebounds a game. Has multiple games with 10 plus boards. Has had a couple triple doubles this season, I think. I know he's had at least one, I remember that I saw, but I think he's had a couple. But he's a 6'4" shooting guard, and he plays like a power forward / center. And he does it well. Like, the Knicks are a good team, and this is what they need, right? And they also have Karl Anthony Towns on their team, who also gets a ton of rebounds, right? And Karl Anthony Towns is kind of a positionless player too at times, right? Like, he can take the ball off the dribble. He can play you from the mid-range and do a side fake and then take you to the rim, or he can step back and shoot a 3. Like, it's incredible how much the skill level has changed in the league over time, right? Like, if you go back to the 1990s, like, guys weren't doing this, right? It was very like, if you're a point guard, you like pass the ball and you set up the offense. You only take shots when you have to. If you're a shooting guard, you're a slasher, you take mid-range shots, things like that. Like, the game is just constantly changing. And I feel like a play style like this, where positions really have no bearing on, who you are as a player, it makes the game more fun, and it makes the game like easier to adapt to new situations going forward, right? I'm not sure if that entirely makes sense, but like, the skill levels of these guys are so high, and I'm trying to like trace back where I really noticed the shift. Obviously I think like Russell Westbrook had a big part in this, averaging a triple double for the first time since Oscar Robertson, and showing that like a 6'3" 3-point guard can get 10 plus rebounds a night, every night. Can score 20 points and get 10 assists, can score 30 points and get 10 assists. Like, being a scoring guard that also was a great passer, was not as common back in the day, right? Like, like there were guys that did it, but it was more like you're either a pass first guy or you're a scorer, right? And like, guys don't really get boxed into certain, like archetypes anymore, right? Like, it's all like, you just play to your strengths and do what you can do and just try to contribute. And you can do that. You can do that whether you're a 6'1" player or you're a 7'5" player, right? Like, look at Victor Wembanyama, right? Another great example. This is a dude who's 7'3". I think he's taller than 7'3". He's probably 7'4", 7'5", and he brings the ball up the court like a point guard. Like, it's insane how much the league has evolved. And I think this is it's a lesson to all the kids that play basketball out there. Like, just, you can go out there and get 10 rebounds even if you're below 6 feet tall, right? And if you're the tallest dude on your team, you can shoot threes, right? You should be able to shoot threes. It's just a constant reminder to work on all of your skills, because you never know what your team's going to need. And the more skills that you have, the more adaptable you're going to be. You're really going to be able to be plugged into any type of situation and do whatever your team needs, right? But if you have a certain skill set, right? Like, I feel like Josh Hart back in the day, he wouldn't have been valued as much, right? Because I will say he's a very good perimeter defender, but I would say he's almost a better rebounder than he is defender. And, he's a great post defender too, which it's very unique to see a 6'4" guy who's a great post defender and a great rebounder. It's very strange nowadays, right? I would credit PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker was also a guy that, I remember they had it was like a picture of all of the Western Conference centers, I think, in the playoffs. This was like years back, probably at least like five or so years back. And it had the heights of all of them. And PJ Tucker was the shortest one at like 6'5". And he's standing next to like Steven Adams and, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, like all these guys. And I always thought that was fine. But it was like, he was able to do it, right? And I think the Rockets, back then with James Harden and Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul and that whole era of guys, they really gravitated towards playing small ball. And small ball, I think, eventually translated into tall ball, as I like to call it, which is like you're still playing small ball concept, but you just have tall guys that are playing every position, right? So you have like the Celtics, in my opinion, are a very good indicator of that. Like Kristaps Porzingis can play on the perimeter and on the inside. Jason Tatum can play on the perimeter and on the outside. Jaylen Brown can play on the perimeter and the outside. Derek White, Drew Holiday. But these are all really tall players specifically for their positions, right? That's really the only thing that dictates your position nowadays is your height. And, even then it's like, it really doesn't matter. So I just think it's awesome. I'm super excited to see how the league's going to continue to grow. I hope Josh Hart, I don't think he's going to get over the 10 rebounds per game mark this season, but I'm hoping he does next season. I love when guards average 10 plus rebounds. It just makes me feel so good about the league for some reason. And growing up playing, I was a guard, but I was able to jump pretty high. So I used to get a lot of rebounds. And I just loved watching like an NBA game and seeing a guy get, 15 boards and he's, 6'4" or under, right? I went to a Knicks game this past season. It was the Knicks versus the Nuggets. And, I saw Russell Westbrook get like 13 or 14 rebounds. I love it. Like it's the coolest thing. I always pick guys like that for my fantasy team too. I just love seeing it. Just looking at a box score and being like, oh, like, damn, their point guard got 17 rebounds tonight. That's crazy. You just go crazy. You're just running around trying to get the board, and that's what it is, man. And guys like Jokic, too, being a center that can pass the ball, like, better than any point guard in the league is also an incredible thing, right? It's just something that people don't expect, and, that's always an exciting thing to watch in any sport, honestly, but in basketball, seeing a guy like Jokic or, Domantas Sabonis get 10 plus assists on any given night, it's box office TV, guys. I'm telling you. So let me know what you guys think, man. Do you think I'm on point with this theory that positions really don't matter anymore? I think it's a pretty known thing, but I want you all to chime in and let me know your thoughts. So that's all I got, guys. Just wanted to talk about that and let you know how I'm feeling. So looking forward to the playoffs, looking forward to the end of the regular season. It's going to be awesome. Very excited. So I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Stay safe, stay up, stay humble, handle business, and stand on business. Peace out.